I'm your host, Louis the 16th, and I'd like to talk to you about the French Revolution. In this podcast, we will be introducing many people who are part of this event. Our first topic is something that I may be an expert in. But first, we'd like to introduce a peasant who was taken from his home to join this podcast. Before we start, how about a little background on why the Estates General was summoned?
The Estates General was summoned because the aristocrats protested the increase of taxes to the noble class.
Okay, thank you. So, peasant, how can you describe the Estates General and the separation to the National Assembly?
I'll have you know, Louis, I was there for weeks on end, and let me tell you, it was crazy. The Estates General is a meeting divided by three estates to decide on one thing. The first estate consists of about 100 Roman Catholic clergies, who are chosen to represent the clergy class.
Okay. Tell us about the other two estates.
Okay, Louis, I was just getting to that part. The second estate consists of about 400,000 nobles who were chosen as the representatives. The third estate embraced the rest of the population and had as many delegates as two states combined. Now, talk to the National Assembly. The National Assembly was created when the third estate decided to secede from the Estate General to become the National Assembly, which wanted to create a new constitution for France. In fact, we met up in a tennis court, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I know about the National Assembly. I wanted to undo the events. Why don't you tell everyone about the whole Bastille riot incident? Oh, by the way, I need to leave soon. Just a heads up.
But Oh yeah, basically, me and many other peasants from the National Assembly stormed into the Bastille Royal Jail and killed many people. We hacked, beheaded, and murdered many people that fateful day. We attacked because we were afraid that you would undo our plans to create a new constitution. This just in, King Louis the 16th was publicly beheaded, with his wife joining him. Beheading method, guillotine.
We'll be right back after these short messages. Scene 2. In this section of the podcast, we will be talking about the growing poverty in France and the war with Britain that caused all of this. We will be including the Declaration of Rights of Men. Hey guys, we are back for this section of French Talk. We will be introducing a prostitute.
Well, as a prostitute, I faced many issues with poverty. Poverty has affected many people in France. Prostitutes like me, peasants, orphans, and clergymen.
So, prostitute, can you explain to us why people in France have been affected by poverty?
There is poverty because of the war against Britain, where France lost wealth and that decreased all around.
By any chance, do you know about the Declaration of Rights of Men?
Now that you mention it, I've heard that it proclaimed the equality of men. It declared sovereignty resided in the people and asserted individual rights to liberty, property, and security. I remember through the slogan, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Men were given this proclamation by the National Assembly because they were creating a new constitution. This proclamation changed France by giving every man equality and liberty they deserved.
Wow, you knew a lot about the French Revolution, and I thank you for your time on the show. Scene 3. In this selection, we'll be discussing the public beheading during the Reign of Terror along with the Maximilian Robespierre Convention. We are here in the next section of the podcast, and the topic is the convention. I would like to say that I enjoyed being your ally and partner during the convention.
It sure has, Max. Let's talk about the convention and one of the most recent public beheadings.
Okay, Jacobin. The convention was a way to draft items and people to join the military or aid the military. Alongside the convention came the Great Guillotine. It is used as an efficient way to execute criminals.
What other great way to execute them if not a public beheading? Recently, King Louis the 16th and his wife got beheaded because of treason.
Oh, and I remember when everyone got sick of religion and wanted science and reasoning to prosper.
Yeah, we made the cult of reason as an alternative to Christianity. The French Revolution was influenced by the Enlightenment period.
Oh, and our glorious convention was doing perfect until the Directory leaders seized our powers. They arrested us and convicted us of tyranny, and they changed our convention.
This is all for today, Max. We will be taking a quick 5-minute break, get our next speakers ready.
Scene 4. This scene will discuss why Napoleon came into power and where he was defeated. Welcome back from our break. In this section, we will have a Q&A of Napoleon. First question. Why did you become a dictator, Napoleon?
After I was defeated by England, I was politically ambitious. I overthrew the Directorate, which I once supported very strongly, and created a new government called the Consulate. Afterwards, I crowned myself emperor.
Tell us, Napoleon, how did you win the support of the peasantry and middle class?
I gained all the support from bringing political structure and stability to France. I created a pact called the Concordat.
Napoleon, you definitely helped restore civil order. Although, how were you able to do it?
I created the Civil Code, which affirmed the political and legal equality of all adult men. I also established a merit-based society where everyone qualifies for education.
It's too bad you failed to conquer Russia.
Yeah, when I conquered Moscow, those Russians set Moscow ablaze, leaving my soldiers without food or shelter. That was when my empire started to fall apart. After I became an outcast and came back, I was finally defeated at the Battle of Waterloo. That's where it all ended.
Okay, Napoleon is getting emotional, so we'll come back after these short messages. Scene 5. In this final section, women's rights will be finally discussed and improved during this time period. Marie Antoinette will be joining us in this part of the podcast. Hey Marie, can you tell us about women's rights in the Revolution in France?
Sure, both National Assembly and the Convention brought increased rights to women. It gave education to both boys and girls. It wasn't the same everywhere, though. In some places, the rights stayed the same, and in others, it wasn't affected at all.
Wow, thank you Marie for that brief explanation of women's rights during the Revolution. Now, thank you for listening to French Talk. If you have any questions or topics you would like to learn, please comment and subscribe. Goodbye.